राइट सर।
तो आप आज ऑफिस में ही है सर?
नहीं सर, घर पे हूँ सर। आज
अच्छा अच्छा।
तो सैटरडे तो ऑफ होता है सर वैसे
ऑफ
भी।
रहता है, बिल्कुल
हाँ
बिल्कुल
हाँ
बिल्कुल।
हाँ।
चलिए सर। सो
जी
स्टूडेंट्स, वी स्टार्ट अवर टुडेज सेशन
सर।
with our protocol, that is welcoming our guest. सो आज के लिए मैं ये कहूँगा, सिर्फ हमारे गेस्ट नहीं, मैं अपने परम मित्र डॉक्टर राजेश कुमार जी का आज के इस कार्यक्रम में बहुत बहुत स्वागत करता हूँ कि इतने शॉर्ट नोटिस के ऊपर सर ने अपने समय निकाला। एंड आई वुड से डिस्पाइट ऑफ हिज हेक्टिक शेड्यूल, ही इज स्पेयरिंग टाइम फॉर अस। दैट इज सो नाइस ऑफ हिम।
इट्स माय प्लेजर सर। आपके सामने कभी ऐसा सोचा भी नहीं कि आप कोई आदेश करेंगे और उसकी अवहेलना करेंगे।
ये आपका बड़प्पन है सर। सो स्टार्टिंग विद द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ सर, इनका पोर्टफोलियो प्रोफाइल बहुत बड़ा है, तो मैं चंद शब्दों में प्रोफाइल बताना चाहूंगा स्टूडेंट्स को। डॉक्टर राजेश कुमार इज डायरेक्टर जनरल पब्लिकेशन एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन काउंसिल, इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ हिस्टोरिकल रिसर्च, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया। Sir is also editor of Indian Historical Review, a journal listed in Thomson Reuters Citation Index. Sir has done his MPhil and PhD from 2008, respectively. Apart from his publications, his research works are referred by the scholars across the world at ResearchGate and JSTOR platforms. Between 2009 and 2018, if you see, he has done his PhD in 2008. So between 2009 and 2018, Sir has co-authored 6 books titled Dictionary of the Martyrs, India's Freedom Struggle, 1857 to 1947, covering pan-India as well as the right now, which is the Pakistan also in it, for ICHR and Ministry of Culture. Under this series, more than 10,000 peasants, workers, tribals, students, educated middle class, as well as our women martyrs have been covered. So this is, I can say, a comprehensive dictionary of the persons who had laid their lives for our freedom, due to which we all are able to breathe in this free India. Then apart from this, Dr. Rajesh Kumar has worked in the nationally important project towards freedom 1937 to 1947, which was a very crucial period of Indian freedom struggle. And that he has done under the leadership of eminent historian Professor Sabyasachi Bhattacharya, and brought out 14 books of a 20-volume series. A very huge task, I would say. Dr. Rajesh Kumar also has to his credit 20 research articles. Sir has earned Best Paper Award in 2015 from Rajasthan History Congress. Dr. Rajesh Kumar is a member experts committee for vetting the Doordarshan series Swaraj, a 75 episode series narrated India's untold stories and historical journey from 1498 to 1947. Most of you would have seen it, and on the same, I would say that your parents would have seen it. So, sir is a member board of studies, Jainarayan Vyas University, Jodhpur, ML Sukhadia University, Udaipur, and Lovely Professional University, Fagwada also. Sir is a panel of examiners in Himachal Pradesh University, MD University Rohtak, and Jivaji University Gwalior. Dr. Rajesh is a member Rajasthan History Congress as well as the founder member of the Haryana History Congress. Sir has attended many training programs also, and on the same conceptualized, developed the content and organized nationally important exhibitions like Freedom Struggle of India from 1757 to 1947, as well as the story of India's partition. So it's our privilege, I would say, to have such scholarly person in front of us, and that also what the topics are is taken, that is, I would say, frankly speaking, students, I had not even heard about it till the time Dr. Rajesh Kumar has told me about this, the Qissa Khawani Bazar. So this particular massacre was there in April 1930, and we had not heard about it in our history books. So what kind of history we had been taught, this is also a thing to look into, which new education policy is trying to cover it up. So it is a story of the unsung heroes of the frontier province of today's Pakistan, I would say. Many people in this story, you students would not have heard the name, but they had played a very major role in India's freedom struggle. So not taking much of the time between Dr. Rajesh Kumar and you students, now I hand over the baton to Dr. Rajesh Kumar to deliver his classical, I would say, lecture on Qissa Khawani Bazar. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
नमस्कार सर। सर मैं बीच बीच में सॉरी वो म्यूट था, मैं आई कुडंट से मच बट आई जस्ट वांट टू से आपके मुंह से राजेश कुमार आने के बाद सब कुछ आ जाता है प्लीज।
अरे नहीं सर, नहीं,
तो
नहीं.
सर with your permission, I just would
Sir.
start by saying that I'm very grateful to you, sir, to you as my rather good friend from quite old days when you were there in Rohtak.
Yes.
So I am very grateful to you, Professor Ajay sir, and your administrative authorities and your distance learning departments and your colleagues as well, and to your university, sir. Sir, now with your permission, I just would start by saying that actually not only this incident, there are many more such incidents which we could able to explore while working on this dictionary of martyrs.
Very
For
true,
example, say for example, one such incident was Charan Paduka tragedy in Madhya Pradesh.
Okay.
So there are many more wherein people get involved in these freedom struggle, and whether these were tribals or peasants or some else, so other parts of our society or students. So in such a such a period of this freedom movement, when this civil disobedience movement was launched by Gandhiji throughout India, at that moment was an incident, and rather I should say that these Pathans who were fond of gun, revolvers, swords, they were in such a manner impressed by Gandhiji that they had given, I think, Allahabadi, I'm forgetting the full name. He has mentioned it like that, this बुद्धू मियाँ भी हजरते गांधी के साथ है, बुद्धू मियाँ भी हजरते गांधी के साथ है, एक मुट्ठी खाक है मगर आंधी के साथ है. Means Gandhi has been compared like a Andhi. Yes. And master simple, I mean common man is also a part of this freedom movement there.
I would like to say one thing, Rajesh sir, that as you are telling that there are many more such stories, so I take it as an opportunity that there will be chances to hear from you more and more.
Okay, sir. So, sir, are you able to see the full screen?
Yeah. It's full screen, sir. Yeah. Thank you. And thanks a lot, students also. Rajesh Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you please start the session.
Sir, I'll just take 1 minute to just take guidance from my daughter how to move on. So I'll just mute on just for a while.
No issues. So I will take these minutes which sir has given us to welcome my seniors, Ginny ma'am, our senior director, Manish sir, our director, Center for Distance and Online Education, my colleagues, as well as my dear students for attending this session in good numbers. Sir.
Yeah.
So
you have introduced this topic as well. I just would say that Qissa Khawani Bazar, I mean, that is a storyteller's market. And now this storytellers and stories are no more there, but the place is still there. Actually, this massacre had happened there in Peshawar on 23rd of April 1913. And it is a tragic point in the history of civil disobedience movement in Peshawar, northwest frontier province, now in Pakistan. The ruthless repression by the British, non-violent struggle to drive the British out of India, confrontation between the British-led troops and non-violent demonstrators in the peaceful city, with many more wounded. However, the exact number of deaths is controversial, but it does not mean that it was a small incident. Even then, it has not been much discussed in the history of our freedom movement. The objective of this small paper is to give a brief account of Qissa Khawani Bazar incident and the atrocities of the colonial rulers, and to remember those ordinary men and women, Khudai Khidmatgars, a political party established by the famous leader Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan and his followers. These were also known as red shirts, but popularly they were known as Khudai. The ordinary men and women, Khudai Khidmatgars and Congress volunteers and others who lost their lives in the firing on 23rd April 1913 for the cause of nationalism and independence. It is important also to remember that the processionists were pleased to non-violence. The rifle, the revolver, the sword, so dear to the Pathans, were rejected. They gave up their lives but remained non-violent. And the role and contribution of the people of Peshawar correctly in the entire episode, it is necessary to refer to the Lahore session of the Indian National Congress and the Pathan delegation who visited that session. Just few months back, when the Congress met on the bank of Ravi on the outskirts of Lahore during the 30,000 delegates and spectators attended this session. Congress party passed the historic resolution on Purna Swaraj, complete independence, on 31st December 1929. In his presidential address, Jawaharlal Nehru declared that independence for us means competition and the British imperialism. A large contingent of Khudai Khidmatgars under the leadership of Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan attended the Lahore session of the Congress. The Congress determination to win complete independence and to symbolize it at midnight on 31st December 1929 impressed the Pathan delegations and they returned with a determination to carry on the work of Congress with redoubled energy. They returned, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, accompanied by Khudai Khidmatgars, walked from village to village and from one end of the province to the other, including some places in the tribal belt as well, and enlisted the people. The rank and file of the Khudai Khidmatgars came mainly from the ordinary peasants, the rural poor. Their leaders and patrons belonged mostly to the middle-level peasant. The battle lines were drawn distinctly in the Lahore session. The actual contest between the Congress and the government means the British colonial government, did not start till 12th of March 1930, the day when Gandhiji undertook his historic Dandi March to break the salt law. Gandhiji's journey on foot from the Sabarmati ashram to the coast, that is between 12th March to 6th of April, was the signal for the countrywide civil disobedience movement. This was the most significant organized challenge to the British authorities since the non-cooperation movement 1920 and 22. This time for Purna Swaraj instead of dominion status, and it was aptly characterized later on by Akbar Allahabadi, as I have cited in the beginning of this paper, that Buddhu Miyan bhi Hazrate Gandhi ke saath hai, ek muthi khak hai magar aandhi ke saath hai, means the master simple is also with Gandhiji, though handful of dust he is, but he is with the storm. Actually, it was not only defiance of the salt laws everywhere in India, but also the boycott of foreign clothes and liquor, resignations from official positions, refusal in the Rayatwadi areas, opposition to the levy of Chowkidari tax in the Jamindari regions, and the violation of the forest laws. On the other side, the British rulers, in a desperate bid to retain authority, unleashed all the force of repression, restored to indiscriminate lathi charge and firing, and affected an unprecedented number of arrests and determination of people. By the second half of April 1930, the whole of India was engaged in the epic struggle, with the northwest frontier province in the thick of it. During this movement, throughout the country, thousands of people were jailed, beaten, and hundreds were killed. In the northwest frontier province, also the congressmen initiated the civil disobedience movement. On 5th of April 1930, the local Congress committee resolved to forthwith picket on liquor shops in Peshawar city, but in view of their small number, the local authorities ignored them. The provincial Congress leaders then requested Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan to support them in the next round of intended civil disobedience in Peshawar. The Khudai Khidmatgars, who committed to the removal of the British rule throughout non-violent methods, were agreed to that. The agitation started in the frontier province on 18th and 19th of April 1930. Actually, this is the background of this severe incident which has happened on 23rd of April. So I just thought that without knowing the background of this massacre, it will be difficult to understand that why this has happened and what were the reasons and what were the other causes and who were involved. So that is why this background was necessary. So this agitation in the Peshawar city started on 18th and 19th of April 1930, when Abdul Ghaffar Khan convened the first official meeting of the Khudai Khidmatgars at his home in Utmanjai and exhorted them to take part in civil disobedience movement. The government saw a serious threat to British rule, and it decided on a policy of destroying the Congress organization root and branch in the northwest frontier province by every means in its power, and simultaneously thinking striking a blow at the influence of Abdul Ghaffar Khan. In pursuance of this policy, a campaign of ruthless repression was started, and the authorities selected the Peshawar district as the first field for their operations. Of 22nd of April, on the evening of 22nd April 1930, a huge mass meeting of about 7,000 people took place in Shahi Bagh at Peshawar under the chairmanship of Sayyid Lal Badshah to protest against the government order. Local Congress leaders and Khudai Khidmatgar leaders addressed the people and announced that the following morning, picketing of the liquor shops of Peshawar would start. 23rd April was also chosen as the day when Abdul Ghaffar Khan was to reach Peshawar, from where he would conduct the agitation. Before he could reach Peshawar, he was arrested at the Naki police station and brought back to Charshada. Thousands of people gathered round the prison, shouted slogans, and demanded his release. The Britishers have insulted us by arresting Badshah Khan in our territory, said the residents of Naki area and they declared that they all were henceforth Khudai Khidmatkars, I mean the followers of Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan Simant Gandhi. The colonial government, for the arrest of 11 leaders, men of the
Student, due to some technical glitch, sir is joining shortly.
Hope I am audible, sir, now. Sorry.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Sorry, sir, and I'm very grateful to you that you are bearing with me, sir.
No, sir.
Actually,
No,
it was due to this light fluctuation, sir. This net got disconnected. The colonial government issued warrants for the arrest of 11 leading men of the movement in Peshawar. 9 of them arrested and detained on the night of 22nd or at the dawn of 23rd April. At the daybreak, when the people in Peshawar came to know of the arrest of Khudai Khidmatgar leaders, including Abdul Ghaffar Khan, Sayyid Lal Badshah Khan, Mir Hilal Ali Khan, Khan Ali Gul Khan, and others, they met in the Congress office and learned that warrants were out against 2 more leaders. The arrangements for picketing the liquor shops were being carried out after 9 a.m. when people were standing in a crowd to give ovation to the volunteers who were being sent out on picketing duty. Then suddenly a sub-inspector of police with armed constables came to the Congress office and arrested 2 more leaders, Ghulam Rabbani Sethi and Allah Baks Barki. A spontaneous hartal was observed in Peshawar in protest against the detentions. There was also some excitement over scheduling of picketing by Khudai Khidmatgar volunteers of the liquor shops. When the police brought the 2 arrested leaders to the Kabuli Gate Thana, that is the Qissa Khawani Bazar, a crowd of about 2,000 Khudai Khidmatgars and Congress volunteers started a procession from the Congress office and reached the Kabuli Gate Thana. The leaders went inside the police station and the crowd started shouting the slogans Inqilab, Zindabad, Gandhi Ji ki Jai Ho, Mahatma Gandhi ki Jai Ho, etc. A large number of people collected and watched the proceedings. Some people also watched the events from the rooftops of the nearby buildings. Besides, despite some slogan shouting, the gathering was on the whole peaceful and completely unarmed. Gandhiji found it remarkable and wrote that such men who would have killed a human being with no more thought than they would kill a chicken or hen should, at the bidding of one man Khan, who had have laid down their arms and accepted non-violence as the superior weapon, sounds almost like a fairy tale. Jawaharlal Nehru, in his autobiography, has also written about the non-violent Pathans. I quote, "Anywhere in India, such a remarkable exhibition of disciplined and peaceful courage before machine gun firing would have steered the country." Unquote. It was also not hostile, as the British authorities later tried to make out. Contrary to later British allegations, the crowd had neither tried to interfere with the police when the arrested leaders were escorted into the thanas, nor did it make any attempt to snatch the prisoners away from police custody. In fact, if the testimony of most of the eyewitnesses, which I have found in the Congress Inquiry Committee, which was headed by Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya and Govind Vallabh Pant, this Congress Inquiry Committee of this Peshawar firing. So this Congress Inquiry Committee has some eyewitnesses records. And as per the eyewitnesses records, it is to be believed that the crowd started dispersing one at the thana, and the superintendent of police asked the police to leave the place. All of a sudden, the crowd discovered to its utter dismay that it had been surrounded by armed troops from all sides.
Yes.
This is probably a scene of, before this incident on 23rd of April. And again, this is about those, the write-up by the armed troops from all sides. Now, actually, the army was brought to Peshawar and deployed at various strategic points. A substantial section of troops was positioned near Naushera Gate and in the Qissa Khawani Bazar area at Kabuli Gate, where the processionists had collected. Around 10:15 a.m. to 2 or 3 suddenly moved on the scene at great speed and crushed a few people. Several were run over, of whom some were wounded and some killed on the spot. The people were not armed. They had nothing with them, no lathis, hatchets, stones, or bricks. In spite of such grave provocation, the crowd behaved with great restraint, collecting the wounded and dead persons. This is the scene after this run over of people by this armored cars, and you can see the belongings of the people. Their shoes are there, and some of their clothes are there, and there is a smoke sort of thing in the picture. Some people went in front of the car and implored the car that it should stop. It stopped for a while, then reversed speedily, hitting a dispatch motorcycle rider, which set its oil tank ablaze. People rushed into extricates the dead and injured who lay under armed car. The car was burning, and as also the motorcycle. A military orderly then suddenly in between at this scene, an orderly, जिसे हम सामान्यतः आम जन की भाषा में अर्दली बोलते हैं, an orderly running from Kabuli Gate, where a senior military officer had set up their field headquarters. He passed over to Captain Rickett a duly signed order for him to open fire. Seeing it, Captain Rickett shouted the order at the top of his voice, and he ordered the Gadwal regiment, which was led by the famous freedom fighter and the then Havildar in British Army, this Chandra Singh Gadwali. So Captain Rickett shouted at the top of his voice, and he said, Gadwalis, 3-round fire. Havildar Chandra Singh, who stood near the platoon number 1 on the left of Captain Rickett, and he thunderously countermanded it, and he says, I quote, Gadwalis, cease fire. Unquote. Jawaharlal Nehru had appreciated the braveness and courage of Gadwali soldiers and, of course, Chandra Singh Gadwali, and he wrote, I quote, they refused to fire because of a soldier's distaste for firing on unarmed crowd, and because no doubt of sympathy with the crowd. Unquote. The soldiers of Gadwal regiment who refused to fire on the unarmed people were court-martialed and sentenced to long prison terms. In a moment of panic, the British-led troops started firing into the crowd. In a moment of panic, the British-led troops started firing into the crowd. Fire was also opened from 2 more armed cars. Shrieks, shouts, and gunshots rent the air, and the bodies of the dead and injured were strewn all over the streets. People ran helter-skelter for their lives, and many took refuge in the narrow lanes and by-lanes. The troops continued hunting the unarmed processionists indiscriminately from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. in the evening. A large number of persons were volunteers, and others were able to remove about 60 dead bodies, mostly from by-lanes to the Khilafat office. A large number of wounded also were taken to that office, and after dressing, they were sent by Dr. Khan Sahib to the Lady Reading Hospital. About 6 o'clock in the evening, the military raided the Congress office and removed the Congress flags, badges, etc. Again, at night, the police removed 2 dead bodies, which were brought late in the evening and kept for the night in a nearby school. It was an example of government ruthlessness and barbarity, and was comparable only to the Jallianwala Bagh carnage in Amritsar on 13th of April 1919. For the coming days, Peshawar became a hell to live in, owing to the atrocities of the British soldiers. Suddenly, on the night of 25th of April, the authorities removed the military as well as the police from Peshawar. But on 28th of April, again the police returned, and on 4th of May 1930, the military reoccupied the city and raided the Congress and Youth League offices. It removed all papers, cash, etc., and looted the nearby shops of the area. Martial law was clamped on the maimed, agonized, and terror-stricken town of Peshawar. On 31st of May 1930, when the Suleiman Committee was holding its inquiry in Peshawar, the military opened fire without the slightest justification on people who were taking dead bodies from burial of 2 children, alleged to have been shot by a British soldier. As a result of this, 10 people were killed and 22 wounded. To conclude this entire episode, it may be said that the Peshawar tragedy was one of the most serious incidents during the civil disobedience movement. The colonial rulers ruthlessly suppressed the movement in Peshawar, and a large number of non-violent processionists looted their lives. Processionists lost their lives. It is surprising that this episode of heinous barbarity perpetrated by colonial rulers has not received the attention it deserves for. Most accounts refers to the defiance by the Gadwali soldiers led by Chandra Singh of the British officers' order to shoot the peaceful processionists, but few refer to the massacre that followed. Here, this is the list of those, I should say rather, 86 persons who have lost their life in this incident of during this civil disobedience movement. And I just would like also to pay your kind attention, to the students and other scholars who have joined, that there are quite common names in that area. This first name, as you are saying, that Abdul Ghaffar Khan. This is not that Abdul Ghaffar Khan who is known as Simant Gandhi or the Frontier Gandhi, or who the leader who was leading this entire procession there. This is some lesser known Abdul Ghaffar Khan, son of Qasim, Mohalla, Dalgram, Peshawar, and his occupation is not known, and who took part in this procession on this date and killed in the firing. And there are many other names like Abdul Ghaffar, Abdul Jalil again, Abdul Khair, and all these were there. 86 list. If you can see, sir, from my side, this brief lecture is over, but I am here as you have decided it for a 2-hour session. So I am here if your students, scholars, or anyone, if they have further queries in this connection, sir. Sir, am I audible to you all?
Yes, sir, you are very much audible.
I just would say that as per your schedule, this session is for 2 hours, and since it was a single incident, and I could complete this in half an hour, but still I am here. If your students, scholars, if they have any query related to the subject or to the freedom movement or any other subject related to this modern Indian history.
In that case, sir, I would request you one thing, that as you were saying that there are many instances of like this, maybe if without even like you would have made PPT of this one. If you are having any other PPT on any other instance, that will be better. And if PPT is not there, even if you can tell such kind of story of any to our students, that will be of a great help, sir.
Yeah. So now let us come to our Punjab part.
They will be able to connect better in this way.
Actually, while doing this, as I have mentioned in the background, sir, that since I belongs to this area, so I was asked to exclusively look into this first volume, which is related to Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, and Himachal Pradesh.
Okay.
And my other colleagues in that dictionary, they picked up some Indian National Army, which they may got some of the soldiers in some bulk in some files, but the Punjab was a bit tricky part, and this has not only any single incident. There are various incidents which took place usually when we see freedom struggle in India. Then we consider Gandhiji's movement, but we forget, even the history students forget that there are many other incidents which are apart from this Gandhian movements. So
Yes,
likewise in Punjab there were, yeah, likewise there
Kartar
were,
Singh Sarabha and
yes,
your
the revolutionary movement.
revolutionary movements were there. That was very much prominent in Punjab. That was in Bengal as well as in Maharashtra. So these were the main
Yeah.
states where revolutionaries were very, very active.
Yeah, I just would like to share with you about the revolutionary, sir.
Yeah.
So starting with the Vasudev Balwant Phadke in 1879, this revolutionary activities with secret societies cropping up in Maharashtra, which was Hindu Dharm Sanrakshani Sabha, then Bengal, Anusilan Samiti, then United Provinces, Young Men's Association, then Punjab under Ajit Singh and Sardar our this Lala Lajpat Rai, Bharat Mata Society, and later on Naujawan Bharat Sabha. All these were interconnected, and the different revolutionaries in Maharashtra, Bengal, United Provinces, Punjab, and Delhi. In one interesting fact of revolutionary movement is that in 1907, Rash Bihari Bose of Bengal revolutionary group and Sachin Nath Sanyal from United Provinces and Sardar Ajit Singh from Punjab, they tried to connect the revolutionary activities in of different parts. वो कहते हैं ना सूत्र में पिरोना. So they tried to bring all of them at one platform, and as a resultant to that the revolutionaries of Bengal, Punjab, and Delhi, they got connected and they attempted to assassinate Lord Hardinge when the capital was shifted from Calcutta to Delhi in 1911. When he was riding an elephant and a royal procession was passing through these Chandni Chowk streets. So at that moment, Master Amir Chand, Awadh Bihari, Bal Mukund Gupt, and this our famous Bengal revolutionary, Bashant Kumar Vishwas, they attempted to assassinate Lord Hardinge, and then from different places they were arrested and Bashant Kumar Vishwas was hanged. And in the same manner, we can look that there was a very interesting fact behind this revolutionary history of freedom movement and revolutionary activities in India is that we shouldn't see this revolutionary movement only with the eyes of with a spectacle of this political history. We should look that revolutionary activities are also inspired by the spiritual legacy of our country. For example, Arvindo Ghosh's this concept of Mother India, which very much inspired the young revolutionaries of that point. They inspired the young revolutionaries of that time period. And in the same manner, we can see that this Bhagavad Gita, though I am telling all these revolutionary activities in bits and pieces, but these have some interesting facts. For example, when this Alipur conspiracy case had happened in Bengal, and the revolutionaries were arrested in 1907 from there, including Varinder Kumar Ghosh, the younger brother of Arvindo Ghosh. Most of them have in their possession the booklets on Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And when all of them were presented in the court, and the British side advocate, he pleaded that have in their possession this Bhagavad Gita. Then after a lot of discussion, it was decided that having Gita in their position cannot be considered that they are anti-government. But despite that, the British side officers considered Gita that they are taking inspirations from Bhagavad Gita and Tilak and Arvindo Ghosh's concept of mother, and that is why they have become rebellious and waging war against the crown. All these such sort of stories are there in connection with the revolutionaries. Moreover, when we are talking that spiritual legacy of our country inspired the young revolutionaries at that time for, getting involved in the revolutionary activities of India's freedom movement. I am telling you another interesting short story of a Marathi fellow. His name was Lahuji Raghoji Salve, and he inspired the young people of that time period. And some of his disciples are, you will be astonished to know, they were Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Vasudev Balwant Phadke, and very well known social reformer Jyotiba Phule. And he tried to make them trained in wrestling, organized activities of self-defense like lathi chalana, talwar chalana, bhala fenkna, and wrestling. So he was of the opinion, Lahuji Raghoji Salve, that we cannot fight against this organized British system individually. We can fight against them collectively, and that too in an organized manner. And we cannot even say that by just making them trained in lathi, talwar, bhala, and wrestling will make them able to fight this very well established colonial rule. But he was also of the opinion that these people will continue this legacy, and they will train further generations in that, and this thing will continue. And that thing throughout this revolutionary movement in India, a student of history can see that this thing continued till this 1934, when this Master Surya Sen and others were hanged by or shot dead by the British. Everywhere you will find that these revolutionaries were organized. They have small groups, but these small groups were very well organized, and they were trained, and they have secret societies like Anushilin Samiti, Bharat Masa Society, this Naujawan Bharat Sabha Samiti, Young Men's Association, Suhada Samiti, Barishal Samiti. There are large number of secret societies. And one most popular among these was Abhinav Bharat, which was also known as Mitra Mela. And Abhinav Bharat actually was started by Veer Savarkar and his younger brother I'm forgetting the name. So Veer Savarkar was also a legendary figure among the revolutionaries throughout the country. And sir, one very interesting fact which any one of your students or scholars can Google, that you will be astonished to know that Vinayak Damodar Savarkar was such a legendary figure, was such a popular personality among these revolutionaries, that Bhagat Singh, seeing the interest of his contemporary colleagues or revolutionaries in Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, Bhagat Singh edited the third edition of the book, which was banned but written by Vinayak Damodar Savarkar and which was banned by the British rule. The title of that book was The War of Indian Independence, 1857. And he was so popular that Bhagat Singh had to write the third edition of Savarkar's that book during his time. In the same manner, if we can talk about Kartar Singh Sarabha or Madan Lal Dhingra or Lala Hardyal or Sohan Singh Bhakna, the Punjab revolutionaries, they were not only active in Punjab, but Sohan Singh Bhakna, Lala Hardyal, Sardar Kartar Singh Sarabha, Madan Lal Dhingra, all of them were also active even in abroad. And they have founded the Gadar party there, and they started publishing one weekly newspaper called Gadar from San Francisco. And another interesting thing, again connecting to Vinayak Damodar Savarkar's The War of Indian Independence, 1857, every week the editorial page of Gadar newspaper was publishing one chapter of Savarkar's book. Though the book was banned by the British, but the San Francisco Gadar newspaper, which was run by the Indian revolutionaries there, they published weekly one chapter in Gadar to inspire the revolutionaries who were active there in the foreign land. So these are also some basic facts which I am just telling you unorganizedly in bits and pieces in the manner of short stories. Had I knew that it will be a 2-hour session, I could have also prepared another lecture which I could have given back to back after this Peshawar tragedy. But now, as I told you, sir, that I could prepare, I mean, in a manner, systematic manner, the only this lecture. The other short stories were connected to the revolutionary movement. I have just narrated to you, sir.
So what I believe, frankly speaking, Rajesh sir, what I believe is that you are moving encyclopedia
Not that, sir.
on Indian history and specifically about the freedom struggle, at least what I can say that the things which are related to history, our freedom struggle. If we talk about in the North India, even there are instances, as you have told about Lala Hardyal, as well as if you remember in 1911 when Lord George Pancham was here. So at that point of time in Chandni Chowk, one bomb was thrown to kill him. So these are the instances. This is not that in the 40s only the momentum was gained. That from 1957 or even before that, that such movements were going on. And many people belong to, if we talk about Haryana and Punjab, they were involved in such kind of attacks. The conspiracy theories were there that many were, I would say, stopped in between, and many people were able to execute their actions also. So there are any number of persons which you had also compiled, which had contributed to the our freedom, and due to which we all are able to feel now that what the freedom means. The younger generation does not understand what the freedom means, but our, I would say, the two generation earlier than us, they were very able to know that what this freedom means and what is the meaning of that, I would say, दास्ता, पराधीनता, जिसको हम लोग कहें अगर तो आज अपने आप में उन लोगों के बारे में सुनना ही बहुत बड़ी बात है. Just as I was going through, as you introduced me to Qissa Khawani Bazar, that there were why this students, why this particular topic is very much important, because this Pashtun, the Pathans, they are the martial race. Even nowadays, the Pashtuns, they are one of the, I would say, leading force in Afghanistan, always with the arms. Even, I would, you can understand it by one point, even their clothes will be torn, but they would have kept their arms in linen, or I would say resham. So that is, they are very fond of the arms. And to turn that violent martial code into non-violent, that is, I would say, a big achievement of Gandhiji. And like as Dr. Rajesh, in this instance, if I say that from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the evening, this was one such event in which गोलियां चल रही थी लगातार, और मरने वाले गिरते जा रहे थे, और गोली खाने के लिए वंदे मातरम के, इंकलाब के नारे लगाते हुए लोग गोली खाने के लिए, और वो भी सीने पर गोली खाने के लिए, पीठ पर गोली खाने के लिए नहीं, वो आगे आते जा रहे थे. ये अपने आप में एक बहुत ही बड़ा मूवमेंट था इंडियन फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल के अंदर, और जिसको अंग्रेजों ने दबाने की कोशिश की. लोगों को पता ही नहीं लग पाया इस मूवमेंट के बारे में, इस इंस्टेंस के बारे में. आज जैसा इंस्टेंस अगर हम देखें, जलियांवाला बाग का, जो इतना फेमस है और आप सब लोग उसके बारे में जानते हैं, पूरा वर्ल्ड उनके बारे में जानता है, उसमें लोग भाग रहे थे अपनी जान बचाने के लिए, और फौज गोलियां चला रही थी उनकी पीठों पर. अगर आप देखें तो वहां पर ज्यादातर जो लोग मरे, उनकी पीठ पर गोलियों के निशान थे. बट किस्सा खवानी बाजार के केस में रिवर्स था. वहां पर लोगों ने पीठ पे गोली नहीं खाई, वहां पे उन्होंने छाती पे गोली खाई. एक लाश गिरती थी, एक आदमी गोली खा के गिरता था, तो दूसरा उसकी जगह लेने के लिए आगे आ जाता था. ये एक नॉन वायलेंस का चमत्कार था. तो इसलिए अगर एक
Sir,
सर
sir,
saying, sir?
one
Yes,
interesting fact of this Qissa Khani is that this romantic Qissa Khani Bazar, a street of storytellers, now it is known as Sahidi Bazar. It's situated from west to east in the heart of the city. In olden days, this was the site of a camping ground for caravans and military adventures, where professional storytellers recited ballads and tales of war and love to throngs the traders and soldiers. Now the storytellers are gone, but the atmosphere is linger on.
yes, very true, sir, very true. Sir, thanks a lot for.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir,
And I just promise one thing to you here, that these 5 volumes, I would like to send it to you, sir. So
No,
you
sir.
can keep it in your office or in your library. So these are, in fact, I should say the will be the asset to the scholars, to the students, to know about what is actually these matters and what is about this dictionary.
Sir, are we having the these dictionaries in the ebook form also?
Sir, this project was done by us on the request of the Ministry of Culture, though
Okay.
we are the part of Ministry of Education, but it was assigned to us in 2009, and in 2018 it was completed with all 7 books in 5 volumes, and I feel proud, sir, to mention it to you that I was the only person in 2008 in this office who anyhow organized this program at the Honorable Prime Minister's official residence,
Very
that
good.
is 7 Loka Kalyan Marg, and the Honorable Prime Minister on 7th of March 2019 has released this series at his home in 2019.
Great, sir.
And
Great.
most of the colleagues from office
Great, sir.
So now this is the e-book wala part I am telling you is that the Ministry of Culture has put all these volumes online at their
Okay.
website.
Okay, good.
We have handed over it to them
So we can
because
download
it
it
was
also.
yes, you can download it, sir.
Great, sir. That will be.
But
so
if you
nice.
would wish, I will please send me your address. I will send you these 5 volumes in hardbound so that you can keep it in your library.
I'm having one gift from you.
Sir, thank you. But regarding this also, I have a very small submission,
Sir.
though it is not that important, but telling you the truth. On 9th of August this year itself, I again was forced to bring out 100 best copies. I mean, a revised edition, a best edition of this book, worked hard and revised it, and with index and all other things, we could bring it out. And this is I am saying to you because this has been given with my own hand. 20 nation heads, उनके गिफ्ट किट में इस किताब को रखा गया है.
Great, sir. Students, I would like
Mother
to
of democracy.
the book which I was showing here. This book, India, the Mother of Democracy, whose main editors were Professor Raghuvinder Tanwar and Umesh Ashok Kadamji. Dr. Rajesh Kumar has played a pivotal role in development of this book, and this book was being given to all G20 persons who had come to our country, and in which it has been shown that from not last 75 years, but from last more than 5,000 years, India is and India was the mother of democracy. So this is all about the history through which we are telling each and everything to the guest which has come to us. So a great work done by Dr. Rajesh Kumar on this book also, the India, the Mother of Democracy. So great congratulations to Dr. Rajesh Kumar on this work also, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So now I would request Dr. Muhammad Ashraf Dar to give a vote of thanks to our today's guest, Dr. Rajesh Kumar ji, our seniors, as well as to our students. Ashraf sir, have you joined?
Yes, yes. Thanks a lot, Ajay sir. So very little has remained for me to go for the vote of thanks. In this whole discussion, as Bamba sir has concluded it in, I think, one of the best ways, adding some other features, quoting from the work, that has been recently done that's related to democracy. India, the mother of democracy. So it's a great effort to understand from in historical research. We have some secluded references as well, which often stay away from the gaze of the historians, and they do not fall in the common or mainstream narrative that we often know by the historical narrative. Especially regarding this theme, the theme for the today's this lecture, it is one of the unique themes. Unique themes in the sense we are aware that there are some famous events in the world, like everybody is aware about the Russian Revolution, French Revolution. There are some popular events which are very much famous in the, especially when coming to the historical stuff. So the event of Qissa Khawani Bazar, the massacre that was held there, the stuff from the historical perspective, especially from the historical research, the disciplined way of non-violence can be in one of the martial races, because we have the ethnicities. They are known for their temper. So there are some ethnicities who are known for the very high temper. So this, I think, it gives a sort of hope. It is a sort of hope that this thing can be achieved, especially in the escalating times that we are facing nowadays. The whole world, we it gives us a hope. Like a small event that has taken place in Peshawar, and in which Congress has played an important role. The efforts of the Mahatma Gandhi, the technique of non-violence that can be induced in one of the martial races. So it, in a manner, gives a hope. From the research perspective, I'm just trying to understand it, that this event and many events like this, which are not often recorded in the mainstream historical studies, they are very important when it comes to the historical research. And from for that very reason that Sir has chosen this theme, I extend thanks on my behalf initially, and on behalf of the Center for Distance and Online Education, I extend sincere thanks to Sir for enlightening us about this theme that I just said, that such themes often stay away from the gaze of the historians. These are not more popular themes, and it's because of such events that the historical narrative is built. So certainly we need to include all the events, and we need to learn from each and every speck that can become the historical source. So from the on behalf of the department as well as myself, my colleagues, I extend warm thanks to Sir, because I have been very much fortunate to see Sir in person, Dr. Rajesh Kumar Sir, and Indian Council of Historical Research, and we owe a lot to organization Indian Council of Historical Research. So if we're able to do anything, that's PhD, very fine. And the access that we have been given by ICHR to the publications, rare works. I'm myself thankful to ICHR for that very purpose, and Sir being a part of that organization. I extend further thanks to Sir for enlightening us. It was an enlightening session in the manner that it has paved the way for further research in the historical studies that we often skip, and we must not limit our research focus to the existing narratives that are existing. We need to look deeper into it. We need to, in a manner, try to look for the other associated events, because there is a chain of events. Whatever you see, if we are studying the modern Indian history and nationalist movement, there are many events that have not been included in the popular narrative, that I must say popular narrative. So from those events, we can learn a lot. And we extend heartfelt thanks to Sir for enlightening us about such an important theme and in this lecture. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. You are on mute, sir. जी sir.
Yes, sir.
Your voice is breaking, sir. Maybe due to, sir, maybe due to network connectivity.
Probably, sir.
Now you are audible, sir.
It's audible.
Yeah.
That's audible.
Okay. Is it over, sir?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks. Sir.